You know that feeling? That nagging sense that something's missing, even when life is, technically good? Well, you are definitely not alone. It's kind of a hallmark of our modern world. So in this explainer, we're going to build a really practical, no-nonsense guide to move from that feeling of emptiness to a life that actually feels genuinely meaningful.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll dig into this feeling of a void to understand it better. Then, we'll build our foundation from the ground up, starting with our physical body, moving to our mindset, and then we'll tackle that big old question of meaning itself. And finally, we'll put it all together into a complete framework for what it means to truly flourish.
So first things first, let's put a name to this feeling of emptiness that, let's be honest, so many of us experience today.
I mean, this is the central question, isn't it? Why, in a world that's filled with endless connection and comforts, do so many of us feel this void, this underlying lack of purpose? If you've ever felt this, I just want you to know you are so far from being alone.
This feeling actually has a name. The psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl called it the existential vacuum. It's that feeling of inner emptiness, and it's exactly what we're here to build a toolkit to address. So the key takeaway so far is really simple. That feeling is a known phenomenon. And just naming it, the existential vacuum, is the first real step toward filling it.
Okay, let's get to our first actionable step. Now, this might sound a little counterintuitive, but the journey to a meaningful life often starts not up in the mind, but with the most tangible thing we have, our physical body.
The connection between our mind and body is just incredibly powerful. Harvard Health actually points out that for some people, exercise isn't just a nice-to-have, it can be as effective as medication in treating depression. So how on earth does that actually work on a biological level?
Well, when you exercise, you kick off this incredible biological chain reaction. Your body releases these proteins called growth factors that literally cause your nerve cells to grow and form new connections in your brain. And this process specifically supports the hippocampus, which is a key area of the brain for regulating your mood. You are physically rebuilding the parts of your brain that help you feel better.
Of course, there's a total catch-22 here, right? The very feeling of being down saps the motivation you need to get up and move. This is a huge hurdle, but the crucial point is you don't need to go out and run a marathon. The goal is just to break the cycle.
So how do you start? It's actually a simple, achievable plan. Begin with just 5 minutes a day. That's it. And this part is key. Pick something you actually enjoy. A walk, dancing around your kitchen, anything. Pretty soon, those 5 minutes will feel easier, and you can build from there. The insight here is just so powerful. Building a meaningful life starts with the body. You don't need a huge commitment. Just 5 minutes of enjoyable movement can begin to physically rewire your brain for the better.
Okay, so with that physical foundation in place, let's build on it. Let's move from our outer world to our inner world, where, as it turns out, we have a surprising amount of freedom.
This is one of the most powerful ideas from Viktor Frankl. And remember, he wrote this after surviving the horrors of a concentration camp. He realized that even when everything else is stripped away, no one can take away your freedom to decide how you will respond. That is the ultimate power we possess.
So the crucial point is this. We can't always control what happens to us, but we can actively cultivate our response. And one of the most powerful ways to do this is by practicing gratitude. Research has shown that gratitude isn't just some fleeting feeling. It's a skill you can practice and strengthen. And doing so has real benefits. It's proven to improve mental health, and importantly, it combats feelings of loneliness by making us feel more connected to the world around us. And that's the whole point of this section. Our ultimate freedom lies in choosing our attitude. We can't always control our circumstances, but we can actively cultivate a mindset of gratitude that fundamentally changes our experience.
Now we arrive at the very heart of our journey. We've laid the groundwork with our body and our attitude. Now let's explore how this foundation supports the primary human drive, the search for meaning.
Frankl actually built his entire school of psychotherapy, called logotherapy, on this one idea. He argued that it's not pleasure or power that truly drives us as human beings. It's our deep-seated need to find a meaning for our lives.
And this quote just brilliantly illustrates his core belief. Frankl cited this all the time. When you have a strong reason to live, a why, you can endure almost any hardship, anyhow. That sense of purpose gives us an incredible amount of resilience.
So where do we find this meaning? Frankl breaks it down into 3 broad paths. We can find it in our work or in creative acts. We can find it in our experiences and our connections with others, especially through love. And, maybe most profoundly, we can find it in the attitude we choose to take when we're faced with suffering we simply cannot escape. So the main takeaway here is that our primary drive is the search for meaning, and it's not some abstract, unattainable thing. It can be found in what we create, who we love, and how we endure.
Okay, we've covered the body, the mind, and the search for purpose. Let's now put all of these powerful ideas together into one modern, science-backed framework for what it means to truly flourish.
This is the PERMA model, and it was developed by the Positive Psychology Center at the University of Pennsylvania. What's so brilliant about this is how it shows that meaning, the M, is a crucial pillar, but it's supported by 4 others. P, positive emotion, like gratitude. E, engagement, that feeling of being completely absorbed in an activity, often called flow. Strong relationships, and a sense of accomplishment. Together, they create a complete picture of well-being.
And this isn't just about feeling good. Actively building these 5 pillars has tangible real-world benefits. Research shows people with higher levels of well-being have better physical health, stronger relationships, better performance at work, and they even live longer. This journey really does have a real payoff. So we'll end with this final perspective-shifting idea from Viktor Frankl. He asks us to just flip the question. Instead of asking what we want from life, what if we asked what life is asking of us? What challenges, responsibilities, and opportunities is it presenting that only we can answer? That question alone can be the start of a truly meaningful path.